What's going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again for another Tops in the Morning show. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. And yeah, obviously on the back of the 1-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal again still eyeing up Eze. Going to be talking about that. Also, Man United looking like they've made an informal offer for Sesko, trying to navigate that kind of deal before Newcastle kind of get their hands on it. So we'll definitely talk about that. And also, yes, Spurs have got a here we go with Palhinha, formerly of Fulham, coming from Bayern Munich on loan with an option to buy. So yeah, that could be a good sign for them. So we will definitely get into all of that good stuff. So yeah, man, let's get into this Eze news for to begin with, man. Arsenal could be forced to sell as they consider Eze bid with the release clause day looming. So yeah, there's a lot of conflicting reports. Obviously, people were saying that potentially so I first heard that the clause had a expiry date, maybe like a couple of weeks ago. But again, no one was really specific in terms of when it actually released. Then people were saying that potentially it expires as soon as the season starts, so the 14th, 15th of August. And now it's come out, Sammy Matbell, as well as some other. All right. Rangers reached an agreement to sign Mikey Moore. Okay. Is that a loan? That's a bomber there. Season-long loan, no option. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, like I said, then came out with Sammy Macabell saying that the clause actually ends today, people. The release clause, the £68 million release clause, actually ends today. And go on to saying the Eze £68 million release clause expires at 11:59 on Friday. TalkSport understands. Arsenal are aware of the situation and have already informed Crystal Palace they have no plans of triggering it. So I don't know whether this is the case of Arsenal trying to call their hand and trying to make out that, yeah, they're not going to trigger it, lower the price down, and hoping they do it before the release clause expires. Because the one thing I'm obviously curious about is that why is it a case where obviously Arsenal know that the release clause is expiring? Why are they confident that Crystal Palace are not just going to hike up the price and say, you know what, there's no release clause now, you're going to have to pay 80 for him, 90 for him, or he's staying? Like, I don't understand that. Maybe there's a thing behind the scenes where Crystal Palace actually want to sell him. 2 years left. No, he's not going to sign a new deal. They've seen obviously what happened when they kept Gay. When he had 2 years left, he didn't sign a new deal in the year, and now he's got 1 year left, which means he's going to have next to no kind of value unless they kind of buckle and honestly agree to the 35 million pound bid that Liverpool kind of want. Otherwise, he's going on a free, which is a massive asset. Potentially, you could have sold for 70 million last summer that you're going to let go for either 35 this summer or on a free. So yeah, maybe it's that situation. But yeah, I just don't understand it really. I feel like it will just give license for Crystal Palace just to hike up the price and say, yeah. And maybe Arsenal would be willing to do that because, again, a lot of it's been made about the structure payment of the release clause, 35 million up front, which is a lot of money, by the way. That's the equivalent of what we paid for Declan Rice, and that was a £105 million move. So this being a £65 million move, 35 up front is quite a lot, to be fair. However, you could obviously argue and caveat that saying Arsenal have already spent money on Madueke, already spent money on other areas where potentially they could have saved that up and used it towards Eze because that could have been our main priority in terms of who we are buying, man. So yeah, it's a kind of a sticky one still. Big up Jake. It says hi. Big up yourself. Hope you are well, bro. Big up for being in the chat as always, bro. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I feel like, again, it's probably the payment structure that's really kind of dictating how much money we kind of spend. So I feel like potentially, even obviously the RC is 68 all in, potentially Arsenal might even bid more. There might even be like a 72, 75, but have the payment structure just more staggered and obviously into their kind of liking. But apparently the reports are coming out that we value him a bit under. So I'll definitely get into that in a minute. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Big up Jake in the building. It says, how you been today? All good, brother. All good. Good to see you in the chat, my guy. And hopefully you're okay as well. 5 likes. Yeah, make sure you guys like on the video if you've not already. And subscribe to the channel if you've not already, people. But yeah. Just going back obviously to the report. It says obviously also do not plan to trigger the release clause. It goes on to say Eze's release clause is £68 million. It is set to end on Friday midnight. So yeah, tonight basically. 5:59 is when it obviously expires. The clause is believed to consist of a £60 million fixed fee with add-ons covering the rest. Also, I've already held talks with Eze, who has spoken to both directly to the sporting director Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta. The England international is sold and moved to the Emirates as indicated personal terms will not be an issue. Also view Eze as a number 10, but his ability to also play out wide is seen as an added strength. The Gunners have delayed making a formal bid for the 27-year-old as they assess their attacking needs. Ethan Nwaneri can also play through the middle. But the thing with Ethan Nwaneri, and I know obviously people say it's an option, and I'm obviously glad he signed a new deal. Again, we've seen it obviously yesterday. No minutes, didn't even come on for like 5 minutes, nothing. Didn't play him. So there's still a lack of trust there. And this is why I always tend to think when it comes to Arteta and obviously Ethan Nwaneri. And maybe it's a thing where physically he's obviously quite not at it compared to Lewis Skelly and stuff like that. But at the same time, and this is the issue I have, you can't have a guy that's supposed to be the backup to your main players and not use him as a backup because he's young. Like it's one or the other. Either have someone that's proper backup and then have him in the squad because he's a young player, and then you can obviously integrate him, but you're not relying on him, or play him as the backup. Like it's one of the two. I feel like you're trying to do the best of both worlds, where you're kind of picking him when you feel like it, when he wants to be like the backup kind of player. But then when we actually need him or we need something to change in the game, you don't want to pick him because he's 18. So I don't think you can do that, man. I think it's one or the other. He's either good enough to play as a backup to Odegaard and someone that can replace Odegaard within the season, or he's not. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not, cool, get someone in like an Eze, and he's the actual backup. He's the actual guy in the competition, and Ethan Nwaneri is someone that kind of floats in and out. Because again, he's 18. It's not like he's 22, 23, and he should be demanding game time. He's still developing his game. So understandably, there'll be some games he isn't playing. I feel like, again, we had kind of the opposite with Iwobi when Iwobi was here with on Arsene Wenger. We used to play him non-stop, literally every single game, to the point where I don't think he was even improving. Like his game wasn't developing because we were just sticking him in and just asking him to do certain things in positions that he wasn't even comfortable in, and playing him out wide when he's obviously clearly number 10, etc., etc. So yeah, I feel like, again, obviously every player is different and the development is different, but I think you've got to just make sure you're clear in terms of their squad roles, innit? Like if you're going to be a prominent rotational player, say we've all played career mode, we've all played FIFA, where obviously when you're signing a player, you have to dictate what their kind of role is in the squad. Are they going to be a first team starter? Is it squad rotation? Is it predominantly first teamer? Like there's always kind of different levels to it, innit? So yeah, I think you definitely have to be clear on that. Big up everyone in the building. 5 likes, 6 likes. Big up yourself. Big up normal guy in the building, man. Big up yourself, brother. Hopefully you are well. Good to see you in here, my guy, all the way from America. Big up Jake with the like count. Big up RS. He says they're losing the North London Cup to Spurs. Shame. LOL. Yeah, man. You know what? You know what it is, man. I'm just more concerned about Arsenal's performance rather than even losing to Spurs. Like it's preseason friendly. I honestly don't care in it. But bro, it's the thing I do care about is seeing Arsenal do the same mistakes we were doing last season, the same kind of conundrums we couldn't get past last season, man. Same weaknesses. Again, all 3 games I've talked about the left-hand side not being fluid, not being and inventive, not being dynamic. It's just the same old, like Martinelli putting in the same old performances. Declan Rice not wanting to link up on his left foot. Like it's just the same thing. I feel like that side is just breaks down every kind of attack, and to the point where we don't even go on that side because we know it's not really going to do anything. The only time it looks half decent is when kind of Fury's around, but then he's always injured. So yeah, it's definitely a massive issue, and this is why I've always been pushing to have more than 2 more signings in those kind of areas, the left winger position and that left 8, which as they would be in all the 10. And obviously he could, because the thing like that I think would be quite interesting is if you drop Odegaard and you potentially play Eze as the LCM, and then you play Rice as the RCM, which again I feel like he did play a few games there, not that many for West Ham, but it is kind of an area where potentially you could actually use him a little bit better. Comfortable on his right foot, can shoot from range, he's going to be outside of the goal, he can press from the front, so he can do some of the things that Odegaard does, but then the creativity would come from Eze instead of Odegaard. And yeah, you could potentially link up with Saka as well. And he's someone that can obviously make runs behind Saka as well as unlapping the runs, because again, he's very physical and has got a very good engine. So I think that's definitely a dynamic you have to obviously try and see. Because again, like I said, Arteta and Arsenal, they need to do different things. This whole kind of thing it doesn't fit our system. Our system is flawed. It doesn't work all the time. Like it's got very, very clear weaknesses. This is why I was always combating when people were saying about Sesko and stuff like that. About he fits something, but our system needs to change actually, because again, we've got massive, massive weaknesses in it. Big up Jake says not good win for Arsenal. Top yesterday. Not good win for Arsenal. Top to 100%, brother. Big up Kurt, man. Big up, brother. Big up yourself, bro. Big up yourself in the building, man. Good to see you here, man. Make sure you guys smash the likes and like the channel. Big up Spirit Up LFC fans. Big up T-Chance Sports. Big up yourself, bro. Jake, RS, normal guy in the chat. Smash the likes and subscribe. You never walk alone. Big up yourself, bro. Appreciate the support, man. And make sure you guys listen to Spirit of LFC fans, sorry. And subscribe to the channel and like the video as well, man. Big up Curtis and so happy. Nico Riley signed a new contract. Yeah, very, very good news, man. I think he's a very good player, very versatile. And I think he's someone that potentially can break into your first team, whether it's this season, next season for sure. Because again, I feel like you were definitely using him quite a lot last season, man. So yeah, very good signing, man, in terms of like signing a new deal. So yeah, very, very good news for Manchester City. Big up Noel, guys. Says good morning, chat. Good morning, everyone in the building, man. Just going through this Arsenal news. Obviously, yeah, just talking about even Nwaneri can also play through the centre, while Nani Madueke is capable of deputizing Bukayo Saka and switching sides. Who could leave Arsenal this summer? It is possible an outgoing is needed prior to Arsenal making a bid for Eze. So, from my understanding, it's the fact that Arsenal actually don't need to sell someone to buy Eze in. They would like to obviously move some players on that obviously are there for too long. Players that because again there is a 25 man limit squad in terms of non-homegrown players. So there's going to be some players if you don't manage to sell during the transfer window, they can't be included in the squad, which means you're going to be paying them to literally do nothing because they won't be included in anything. So there is that obviously to think about. So the likes of Fabio Vieira and all these guys, they do actually need to be moved on. Whether you need to do it in this particular order, I think it remains to be seen. I feel like they can buy Eze without another kind of outgoing, which I think they should do, to be honest with you, because you've seen the kind of reaction to that 1-0 defeat to Spurs yesterday. People are on edge already. The season's not even started. This is what pressure does. This is what happens when you go so many seasons about winning trophies, man. People are feeling the heat. Like, yeah, they're having meltdowns over preseason, like, because we've lost the game. But again, it's that fear of we're just seeing the same things we've seen last season where it amounted to us not winning. And again, I feel like last season, and I said it before, there was too much emphasis on referees. There was too much emphasis on red cards. We weren't actually playing that well when we had good refereeing decisions, when we had 11 men on the pitch. This is what you had to be highlighting, because what you end up doing is you end up hiding behind the fact, and then people have this false narrative and false kind of feeling about the team that we're not that far off and stuff like that. But it needs revamping. The starting lineup in terms of the attack and that left-hand side need new personnel. You could argue it needs a new manager as well, but again, Arteta's staying for the foreseeable. So again, you're going to be just giving new players and see what happens with that. But yeah, I think me personally, I just think when it comes to this kind of situation, man, I feel like yesterday's result is probably a good thing because again, it wakes more people up in terms of the business ain't done just because we got a striker in. Doesn't mean we're all cool now, we're all kosher. We've seen that again. We need more creativity in the team. Whether it's coming from new players, coming from new system tactics, I think it needs a bit of both, if I'm being honest. But yeah, whether we get that or not, it remains to be seen. It goes on to say Arsenal have told suitors, including Al Nassr, that Gabriel Martinelli is not for sale. Very interested in that. So it seems like Gabriel Martinelli is staying. It's going to be Trossard is the one going to be leaving. I don't know whether they've kind of factored in the age, the fact that obviously Trossard has only got a year left and stuff like that. So yeah, potentially Trossard maybe has more suitors anyway than Martinelli, so it's easier to get him out the door rather than trying to kind of get teams to be invested in Martinelli and how much that's going to cost, etc., etc. So yeah, very interesting. For me, I'd sell them both personally. Maybe not in this window, but I just think we need to improve on both of them, man. I think Trossard again is probably declining because of his age and stuff like that. But I think Martinelli is just, again, unless you're going to play him up front as a second striker, that period on the left hand side, we've seen it for the last 2 years in a row, man. It just doesn't improve. Do you know what I mean? It just does not improve, man. Big up, obviously, everyone in the building. Big up, Jake. That's right. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Big up yourself, Jake, for letting the people know. Big up 7 on DR. Big up Tops, the chat fire. Still disappointed in the performance from our team yesterday. Arteta once again to show the reasons why he shouldn't be our coach. Your thoughts on the games and the players? Yeah, bro. I feel like, again, it's kind of highlighted kind of all the flaws and the weaknesses in our system, like I was saying before, 7 on DR, bro. Like I said, I think the players, majority of them did not perform very well. I think probably one of the better players was probably Ben White, but I think the goalkeeper in a couple of the games has been very shaky. I don't know what's happened to him. He kind of carried on the form that he had at the end of last season, where again he was very shaky towards the end of last season. So that's definitely something you got to keep an eye on, as well as I think the attackers have been poor all tour, if I'm being honest. Like, we've scored 3 goals, well, we've scored 4 goals, but you look at the goals, Saka had a shot that obviously bounced off the floor and went in the first game. Second game, Marino was a very good finish, but again, overall his performance weren't great, and he was playing in midfield. then we scored a penalty and an own goal. That's it. That's the goals we scored in the last 3 games. So no goals from Kai Havertz. Obviously, 1 goal from Saka, no goals from Martinelli or Trossard, who have obviously played significant minutes on the left. So it just goes to show that left-hand side is just void of ideas anyway. And obviously, Havertz, man, it's just been not been great. Not been great at all, bro. But yeah, in terms of the performance, man, I think it was poor, or worst performance of the tour. And yeah, Spurs definitely deserved to win the game, had the better chances, and we could not break them down. And it is a big worry going into the season where you're looking at like a Man United team. If they get, we seen it last season, they got a free kick. We didn't do the war properly. It beats Raya. They're 1-0 up. They start defending. Then they end up getting more chances. If it weren't for Declan Rice, we would have lost the game. We probably still should have lost the game because they had a lot of chances. Listen, they got better like attackers now. Even though obviously Man United as a whole might struggle, those are those big games. They always get up for it, especially at Old Trafford. So it could be a case where Mbeumo gets one from 25 yards, and then we're 1-0 down. And then, bro, if we haven't got that kind of the avenue to try and break down low blocks, we're going to lose the game. We're not going to be able to break them down, bro. So this is kind of the issue I have with like it tends to feel like if Arsenal don't score first, they're in trouble. Do you know what I'm saying? I know we came back and beat Newcastle, but at the same time, it's like, again, we needed an own goal. We needed a cute finish from a player that's not really even playing up front. We needed a penalty. Like we didn't create a plethora of chances from open play. That's kind of the issue here. So yeah, that's something we need to improve on for sure. Big Lucky Singh. It says Benjamin Sesko, we're gonna send a bin. Rasmus Højlund likely to leave. Very, very interesting, man. Very interesting for sure. Man said Gyökeres should have come on earlier. Yeah, for sure, bro. Bro, I don't know what was wrong with Arteta in terms of his substitutions, man. He's like he was treating it like a proper league game. I was saying, bring people. It's pre-season. Like people need to come on and get fitness. Like, why didn't Ethan Nwaneri not come on at all? It's just bizarre. He's one of the players we're going to be keeping, but then you bring in on Nelson, who we're trying to sell. You bring in on Zinchenko, who we're trying to sell. It was just weird. Like I didn't understand it. And even with the team selection, like surely you're in a period of time where you want to try and like start your best kind of team. Why is Zubimendi and Rice not start together if that's your best team? Why is someone like Trossard and Gyökeres not playing more games? I just thought it was all kind of weird, if I'm being honest, bro. But yeah, definitely should have come on earlier. We got Luis Garcia. The latest on Sesko as Man United and Newcastle away. Major update on the £70 million strike with a laughing emoji. Obviously, he needs to pick between the two. Big up Carlos. He says no Eze with a laughing emoji. Listen, we better get him, bro. After spending that money on Manawaki, we better get this guy. What? Listen. Don't let me get a mad, fam. Big up ST Morning Tops in the chat. Big up yourself, ST. Big up for being in the building, man. Good to see you in here. Big up RS. He says Arsenal never sell anyone for decent money. It's always awful business model. Yeah, I agree, bro. I think also Man United definitely have the worst two business models in the probably big 6 or big 5, or whatever you want to call it, in terms of selling players at a decent price at the right time, etc., etc. That's something we have to improve on because it's not good enough. I've stated that for a while now as well. So yeah, definitely something that's not good enough. Big up Lucky Singh. It says good morning, football transfer world. Good morning to yourself, man, bro. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, bro. But good to see you in the building, man, and good to see you engaged in the chat. Big up, mate. Big up, Chris, man, my brother. What you telling me, my guy? Hopefully you're good and well. Big up, Kurt. It says O'Reilly will get a lot of game time this season at left back, potentially. You've got Nwaneri, you've got Guardiola, but again, Pep Guardiola does like to juggle his defense around, especially with how many games he's going to be playing. So, yeah. And the thing with O'Reilly, he's very versatile as well. He can play left back. He can play further forward too. He can contribute and score goals and stuff like that. So, yeah, I feel like he's a very good, versatile kind of, I say signing, but him signing a new contract. Because, again, I did see some reports. I can't remember who it was from that potentially you might be looking to sell him because of the homegrown core and stuff like that. But yeah, he's signed a new deal and he's staying at the club, man. So obviously good news for you guys. Big RS, it says some Arsenal fans last season tried to tell me Ray is up there. Nah. I've said on the show, obviously on my show, he's not world class, man. He's just a good solid keeper. That's it. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Man United informed Leipzig about plan to bid for Sesko. Also, to show evidence to the player. Obviously, Job, that's a bit of a bomber there. Also shown evidence to the player that he's their top priority as a new striker. I did see that yesterday. That it looks like they're going to go all in for Sesko. They're not even going to wait till obviously sell some players. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And I'll definitely get into that in a minute. But yeah, onto the article. It says Trossard has also begun talks with the club over a new deal, but nothing is signed yet. As initial talks between Arsenal and Crystal Palace have already taken place. Very interesting. Obviously, that's Eze in the preseason. It's a Bayern Munich have also inquired about the former QPR star. Remember, Elise is there as well. His former teammate at Crystal Palace. The removal of Eze's clause is not likely to change Arsenal's approach, as they have always intended to offer less. Palace are understood to want at least 35 million in a lump sum as any part of the deal, and a total package similar to the clause. So yeah, that is a lot. Like I said, that's the equivalent of probably what you'd pay when you got a £100 million deal, because again, it's normally staggered, normally 2 or 3 or 4 like kind of payments. So 35 or something like that for a £100 million player normally. So yeah, to get 35 is a lot for a 68 million pound. That's literally half of it up front. So that's basically a release clause. I mean, again, it's not the whole sum, but it's near enough like how much you're going to pay for a release clause than you probably would do. I mean, normally you probably pay, I don't know, 20 up front, 25 up front, maybe max, maybe even less than that. So yeah, Arsenal value as a under 60 mil, and are hoping to pay a similar package to the 55 million. That is cheeky, bro, because Eze is better than Alanga. I'll be real. That'll be better. This is what I don't understand, bro. It's like the players that are rated, yeah, they want to cut corners, but then the players that are not particularly rated highly by the universal fan base, they just pay full whack for. It's bizarre. The playmaker has only 2 years left on his current contract, leading Arsenal to believe his current club's asking price could drop as the window winds down. So this is the one that potentially could go to deadline day, man. Hopefully it doesn't, but you never know. Hopefully it doesn't, man. Hopefully it doesn't. Sure, because again, it's one of those ones where I still believe, again, there's a couple of people that have told me, Dom, big up Dom as well, and a couple of other people have said that potentially it's based off the fact that they need to get a replacement in the door before they kind of sanction any kind of deal for Eze. So I feel like they are willing to try and negotiate down. Otherwise, they would have just shut contact completely. I feel like they are willing to negotiate, but it's just whether they can all come to a compromise in terms of getting a deal agreed. Says Palace are also appraised for offers for captain Mark Gahey, with Liverpool considering a bid should the price drop below £40 million. Like I said, they rejected a £70 million bid for Gahey last summer by Newcastle because they was like, he's not for sale, etc. And potentially they might even get less than 40 now. So again, it's a key thing to sell at the right time, man. Because again, if you're trying to dictate, and again, because some people do, I'm signing a new contract. Look at Morgan Gibbs White. He's signed a new deal out of nowhere. So sometimes you can obviously get the player to stay and commit. But if you don't, man, you end up letting the guy go for either less money or on a free. So Gay has told the Eagles he won't sign a new deal, and the Eagles don't want to lose him on a free. See, this is what I'm saying, man. So Liverpool can just hold it out, if I'm being honest, until probably towards the end of the window, man, and get him for cheaper. However, the defender is prepared to run down his contract to ensure he's playing week in, week out of the World Cup, adding in an extra layer of complication and any potential exit. So he's not really pushing for a move. He doesn't really care either way. He knows regardless, next summer, he's going to have a load of teams after him on a free transfer. So, yeah, he's pretty comfy in that regards, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe. So Sesko will decide in the next couple of days with the Man United camp. Newcastle proposals are on the table as well. Big up Luis Garcia. Big up Chris. He says it looks like Arsenal will be overbidding for Eze if not paying the release clause. This is what I'm thinking. Palace are entitled to ask for. This is what I'm saying, Chris. This is what I don't understand. Unless they come to some kind of the only thing that makes sense is if they come to some kind of agreement beforehand that the fee is going to be maybe a little bit more, but it's going to be favorable in terms of payment structure. But yeah, I don't understand. I don't see what's stopping, because I thought the release clause was a good thing in terms of, like, again, at least it's at a price where, you know what, that's pretty reasonable. 60 million fixed with obviously 8 million in add-ons. So it could just still be 60 million depending if he reaches the add-ons or what the add-ons are. So I thought, yeah, that's pretty decent considering Alanga just went for 55, and Mwaneri just gone for 52. Like, these kind of guys, the standard level now rate is 50 plus for these guys, man. So yeah, to get him for 68, I think that's not outrageous or absurd. But yeah, a team like Palace normally, like I said, with Zaha, they were trying to get 85 million for him in 2019. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is probably the equivalent now of like 120. Do you know what I'm saying? Because again, inflation and things have obviously gone up in that. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Big up everyone in the building. Big up RS. It says Newcastle got beat other League All Stars. So I want to use the Arsenal versus Newcastle result as a barometer. LOL. Listen, I want to. It's when it comes to results in preseason, I want to use any result, bro. It's preseason, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's more about the performance, fitness, etc. Not getting a load of injuries. With Arsenal, obviously, in this preseason, we have Tim is still injured, Gabriel's still injured, Kavuri got injured, now Trossard's injured, so Kepa got injured in training. So we've got 5 injuries there on the top of my head. Obviously, Jesus is recovering from an ACL as well. So there is still a few injuries in there as well. So I feel like, again, in terms of the actual overall tour, probably not a great tour, if I'm being honest, even though we won 2 out of 3 games. Again, it's not about the results, man. It's about how we're playing, if we see anything different, if we can keep the players' fitness and we don't get a load of injuries. But it seems like we've got 2 injuries on the tour. We've got, obviously, players that can't recover from the injuries as well already. So, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. Good morning, bro. Big up yourself, Jake. Big up 7 on DR. Says NordVPN was safe, and Arteta thought if we start him against his former manager, he'll break them down. Odegaard in an advanced position, he looked good, but he's on pillar foot. Bro, it's all over the shop, bro. All over the shop, man. We've got no real elite ball strikers apart from Rice. Like you said, Odegaard wasn't really kind of overlapping on the lapping. Saka was off the boil as well, off the pace. He's lost a bit of his explosiveness, I believe, as well. So far, I've not really seen it since he had this hamstring injury. So there's a lot of issues going forward in those attacking areas. And again, it's worrying because, bro, Arteta, and this is what I feel like, again, with the kind of the excuses and stuff like that, bro, don't get warped into these kind of the referees and stuff like that. Focus on what you see as a manager. And this attacking threat that we had before the injuries, when Saka was fit, when these guys were available, was not good enough anyway, because we were struggling to break down Wolves, Brighton, Brentford. Who else, man? Everton, we drew 0-0. Fulham, we just about beat. Ipswich, we beat 1 goal. Southampton, we scored in the last minute. Leicester, we scored in the last minute. These are all games at the Emirates. These are games that we should be beating pretty comfortably. Do you know what I'm saying? Or winning pretty comfortably. So, yeah, there is definitely an issue in terms of our attacking prowess and how we obviously conduct ourselves. So, yeah, it's definitely an issue for sure, my bro. After all these, Sesko could choose United without Champions League hype. Looks like it's still 50-50. Yeah, again, a lot of people were saying, oh, he's definitely going to Newcastle, then definitely going to Man United. It's still up in the air, man. Obviously, he's deciding for a reason because, again, he's maybe not convinced about either project. I'm thinking, is there going to be another club that comes in for me by this stage? So, obviously, he's waiting for a reason. So, we'll have to see, man. It could go either way still. I'll be real, man. Saka was once again our only outlet, but didn't do much. Nah, he was poor. Martinelli, please sell this guy. Havertz on the floor as usual, no surprise. And this is what someone said. I think someone said it on Twitter, man. It was a very good point. He was talking about, obviously, Havertz, Odegaard, and Martinelli. He was saying these kind of players never surprise you in terms of, you know exactly how they're going to play, and they play exactly how you think they're going to play, and there's no surprises. So if we're thinking that as fans watching it, obviously opposition, obviously managers, players, they know exactly what these guys are going to do. If you kind of just nullify them, they're very, very ineffective. And that's what's actually happened on the preseason tour, isn't it? You've kind of seen what they do normally. Kind of Martinelli runs into a straight line, hits his first man. Havertz kind of is a little bit physical, but in terms of technical ability in and around the goal, doesn't really provide anything of substantial. And Odegaard kind of builds up everywhere apart from in the final third where you need him to obviously make that crucial pass or shot. He doesn't really do it. So, yeah, kind of the same old promise, man. Big up Frankie says, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, bro. Hopefully you're well. Good to see you in the chat on your birthday. Hopefully you have a good day, bro. Big up Jake says, hi. Hope everyone is doing good today. Big up yourself, Jake, as always. Edison used to be a world class, but fall off after the trouble season for some reason. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes, Kurt, to be fair, bro. Sometimes players obviously hit their peak, hit their prime, and then slowly decline a little bit, especially if they're getting older and stuff like that. But again, I think it's very crucial for managers and obviously people to recognize that within the club to then bred someone in further in the first team. So that transition, isn't as obviously painful. You've seen it with obviously Czech and Qatar. They obviously knew they needed a new keeper, so they kind of brought in Courtois in quite steadily. And then, again, he was their new keeper, man. So you've seen it before in the past with kind of older players getting moved on. So, yeah, I agree. Big up Lucky Singh. He says Rasmus Højlund has been told likely to be loaned or sold. Yeah, that would obviously be the best move for Man United for sure to obviously get him off the books. Big up Kurt says that people these days pick and choose what players are good. Eze is so on the right. Yeah, I think Eze is a class player, man. I know. To be fair, last season he was a bit quiet at the start of the season. I remember thinking Eze's not really done too much at the start of the season. However, Crystal Palace had a bad start. They didn't really sign any players, or they signed them kind of last minute, and then their start at the start of the season was bad. They were near the bottom for a period of time, and then it was kind of halfway through when they started to pick up pace, and then they started to get in a bit of momentum. And obviously, they won the FA Cup in the end, but then started to grow up in the league into the position where they were kind of mid-table. So I feel like, again, it kind of evened itself out a little bit. So, and that's when obviously Eze, it was no coincidence when Crystal Palace started doing well, when Eze started doing well, Crystal Palace started to improve. So, yeah, man. But yeah, I think he's a quality player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in in another team or a bigger team. Hopefully, he's Arsenal. Big up Lucky Singh. He says a lot of clubs are getting busy now. Transfer market. Yes, obviously, it's start of August. Happy August Day. 1 month left, man, until the 1st of September, where the window does close. So 1 month left for players and teams to obviously sort out where they're going to go, what players are going to go for, etc. Again, we normally see it beforehand. There's a lot of business done on the deadline week, then the deadline day. So again, man, players that have not even been linked with a move away, players that potentially could get ostracized the first game of the season. We all see what happened with Sterling and Chilwell this time last season. First game, they were ostracized, and that was it. So there could be some market opportunities. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Rodrigo yet. Is he going to stay at Real Madrid? Is he going to leave? So that's obviously a saga that's going to develop in the coming weeks. So yeah, a lot of things are definitely going on. Do you like my profile picture tops? Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Big up yourself. Big up Dom, man, in the building. Morning, or Palace and Bournemouth could be decimated in the window, 100%. I'm a big fan of Eze, Wharton, and Gay, and could all leave, as well as Mateta, bro. He's another one that's been linked with a move away. Obviously, Crystal Palace rejected a bid from Atlanta. I think it's 30 million euros. I think it might have been. So again, that's another key player potentially. You're looking at the likes of Brentford already being decimated with losing their manager, losing obviously Norgard, losing Mbuemo, potentially losing Wissa, who's obviously not turning up for training. So yeah, man, it makes it interesting. This is why I kind of appreciate what Sunderland are trying to do. I feel like they're trying to capitalize on the fact that there's some kind of established Premier League teams that might not have their first team or their normal team that they've used to having in the last couple of seasons, and there could be a gap there where they could kind of just replace them. So yeah, again, making loads of signings doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to stay in the league, but at least you're showing a little bit of ambition and trying to get players that can improve your championship level side, which they did actually have obviously last season. So yeah, well yeah, beat yourself, Dom. We'll have to wait and see what obviously happens with Gay, Wharton, and Eze, but hopefully Eze comes to Arsenal before the window is closed. Big up 7 on DR says when Gyökeres came on, he barely touched the ball, didn't even get involved. Similar how we neglected Adoji when he entered against Ipswich, irrespective of the end result. This pattern continues. Yeah, I mean, again, obviously he only came on for 12 minutes, and I feel like that's probably the main concern in terms of why Arsenal fans wanted him on the tour from the start, because we know he's a different kind of striker to Kai Havertz. You're gonna have to try and adapt to his strengths. He makes channel runs in behind. He's more direct with his running as well. You have to kind of find him when the space is available. This kind of slow pedestrian possession football does not suit Gyökeres at all. You have to play in transition a bit more. You have to be very direct. So when he gets the ball into space, it's very quick on the turn. Look at the majority of his goals, or some of his goals, is when he's obviously in transition, on the turn, in space, running at players. When there's a bit of space there. When there's a low block and you'll pass it too slowly and there's no kind of space to maneuver, you're then literally relying on cutbacks. You're literally relying on crossing into the box, which is not a strong point. That's a Kai Havertz. That's a Marino. That's them kind of players that are very good in the air. That's not Gyökeres' strong point. So, yeah, we have to definitely adapt our style in play and how we actually are playing. It has to be quicker, man. It has to be less touches, less possession building, more kind of not even like back and forth, but more kind of direct when it comes to we've got the ball now, we're trying to look for this kind of player. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time, but the only way that's going to improve is obviously more training sessions for Gyökeres and obviously starting him in games. This is why for me, the next 2 games at the Emirates, he has to start, man. Yeah, you have to try and bed him in, try and start him in these games, bro, because otherwise you're looking at a position where first 2, 3, 4 games in the Premier League, he's not starting as well, because you're like, well, I don't really know if we're going to be able to play to his strengths, because we're kind of used to having a Havertz or a Jesus up there, who's obviously a different type of striker. Big up Lucky Singer says, good morning to you all. Big up yourself, brother. Great to see a lot of clubs doing business. A lot more business to a lot of clubs do. 100%. I completely agree, bro. Big up yourself for being in the building. Big up Darwin says, also left-hand side remains my big concern from the tour. Breaking down low block issues concern me less, as intensity isn't the same in friendlies, and that's the key weapon to beating down a low block. Yeah, big up Don for obviously the comment. For me, I feel like it's a little bit of both still. I still feel believe, because again, even with the low block and the lack of intensity, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, we've seen it in obviously last season when we still couldn't break down a low block when the intensity was high, because again, a lot of the options that we were seeing last season, we've seen this season in terms of still having Odegaard, still relying on Saka, still relying on the overlaps, not having anything on the left. I think they're kind of intertwined, to be honest with you, breaking down the low block and the left-hand side remaining a big concern, because again, I feel like if there's a lot more flexibility, a lot more versatility on that left-hand side, a lot more interchangeable kind of assets on that left-hand side, then potentially you could then break down someone that's having a low block, because again, they've got more things to worry about. They've got obviously left-hand side issues to worry about in terms of those kind of left-hand side players. We need to kind of clamp down on them, then that obviously relies more space for Saka. It's kind of like a knock-on effect, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm still concerned about the low block thing. Personally, I think we just haven't got those elite ball carriers in the middle of the park, which can obviously elite pressure it and obviously get past that kind of rigid, kind of solid defensive line. We've seen it before with players before that can just dribble past a couple of players, and then this kind of mid block just exists. It's just evaporated because, again, players are out of position, the space now, and then you end up scoring a goal from it. And I think the likes of getting Eze in, even another left winger, in fact, we've got Madueke in. Obviously, that's kind of a trait that Arteta has definitely kind of highlighted for sure in terms of getting some better ball carriers. So looking on the pitch, thinking there's no real good dribblers that we've got really, like in terms of like ball carriers from one part of the pitch to the other. Martinelli doesn't get his head up. Saka obviously relies on really on combinations, really, than actually just dribbling on his own. Havertz is not a very good dribbler either. He's very inconsistent technically. Declan Rice is very powerful, but in terms of like actual technical ability in terms of dribbling and obviously quick feet, not really that kind of profile of player. Odegaard again too weak on the ball in my opinion. Got pushed off the ball by Bentancur and a couple of other players. So yeah, man, very concerning, man. Big up Static, man. What are you telling me, my brother? Good to see you in the building, bro. Good to see you in here, man. Always appreciate you being in there, brother. Hey, Tops. Well, that was a very disappointing result again for yesterday, for sure, man. For sure. I think a lot of fans are kind of losing their heads a little bit in terms of and listen, I can understand the frustration. It's not just about the friendly and losing to Spurs. It's the accumulation of obviously the seasons where we've basically underachieved in terms of the expectation of winning a trophy, winning a major, stuff, things like that, having a good transfer window. Obviously, we didn't last season. So all these things just build up. I don't think fans just forget about it just because you're trying to make amends now and trying to get some players in now. It's like, well, you should have done this 2 or 3 years ago. That's kind of the mindset that a lot of fans still have. So, yeah, I think you're kind of seeing it in some of the reactions that obviously fans are definitely having. And obviously that thing of not being able to kind of improve in terms of, again, we're seeing the kind of same things that we've struggled with last season. And I think a lot of people definitely did ignore it because there were obviously other issues. We did have some injuries. We did have some refereeing decisions that were a bit mad. But overall, our overall play, even if we didn't have those things, even though I feel like we'll be a little bit closer to Liverpool, I still don't think we had enough to win the league anyway. So they're the kind of issues I'm kind of worried about in terms of improving. Big up Static says 16 likes and like and subscribe. Big up yourself, brother. Appreciate you promoting that in the building, man. Still can't get over the fact that Spurs look way more mature than us, and Thomas Frank been in the job for about a month compared to 6 years under Arteta. Yeah, I mean, again, we always see with obviously new manager bounce and stuff like that. And obviously had a different kind of swag when he first came in. So I wasn't really surprised that there was going to be a quick improvement, when it comes to Spurs or kind of any kind of new manager in. If you don't already have that kind of new manager bounce when you come in as a manager, then again, I don't know what to tell you, man. Normally, majority of managers, even if they're not particularly good or even last at the job, normally kind of get that bounce. So yeah, he definitely improved them in that particular game in isolation. Definitely improved them defensively in terms of organization and stuff like that, and how they obviously attacked the game. We were kind of used to the roles reversed. Well, we were very defensive under Ange, let them have the ball, and then we kind of hit them on the counter attack. This could be the kind of polar opposite now. So it's up to Arsenal to try and find some key kind of components to really kind of break down this kind of low block and that. Otherwise, it could be a struggle. Big up Chris says our kit numbers have been revealed. Kirk is getting 6, Vert's getting 7. Frimpong 30, Machiavellia 25, and Katike 22, Bradley getting 12, same number as Trent. At Madrid, we are trolling with a laughing emoji. Maybe you are, bro. Maybe you are. You're saying we've got one of our own still at right back. So yeah. Well, yeah, at least you revealed the numbers now. I said a league on a market opportunity in Spain. Yeah, look like they're having a good time over there. And obviously I did stream with Carl when he was over there. Obviously Rashid was in the chat as well with Northside and that. So yeah, looked like they had a decent time over there still. Liverpool are ready to pay Newcastle up 60 million up front for Isak. A further 60 would be that is mad money if that's true. The add-ons could bring the total fee to 140 mil, 120 guaranteed, man. 60 mil up front, bro, is definitely a steep price for sure. So yeah, they're doing their thing. Massive Lee Gunner getting pied by a gal on a live in Spain made me crease. Lee Gunner doing his market opportunity, man. Market opportunity. Who cares? Back to Arsenal. LOL. So static. Tops, did you see the guy who looks like Haaland in the? Nah, I didn't. You know, I didn't. When was this? In a buying kit? Nah. You have to let me. You have to. I'm gonna have to pull it in, man. Haaland look like in a buying kit. What is this? I did not see that at all, bro. But big up yourself and let me know. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. All of that good stuff. Oh yeah, bro, this is crazy. It's like a carbon copy. No way. Oh, he's took my whole. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's took my whole flow. I would have thought this, bro. If they would have put this, say if someone would have screenshotted this in like a Man City shop, I would have thought it was Haaland, bro. I can't even lie. That is mad. Man said he stole my whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. Big up Soldier Boy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Carbon copy, or a multiverse and that. That's mad. That is mad, man. Big up everyone in the building. Big up Static, he says, top sorry, man, it's not looking good for Arsenal. New players, same old problems. Yeah, I mean, again, some of the players obviously didn't play, man. Awake, he's not obviously on the pitch. Not really got massive high expectations for him, but again, he wasn't there. Some of Mendy only played, half an hour, wherever it was. Obviously, Yoker's only got 12 minutes or whatever it was in that. So, yeah, some of the players that you want to make a massive impact weren't there into the starting lineup. But again, I still think, again, that kind of structure issue on that left-hand side is definitely still an issue. And low blocks, man. I'm not seeing it because the thing is, it's not the fact we lost 1-0. It's the fact that, again, we didn't create any chances. Like, it's not like Vicario is making save after save. Then you can kind of argue, well, even though we didn't win the game, at least we're getting past that kind of fear of breaking down low blocks, man. At least we know what we need to do. We just need to finish off the chances. He had nothing to do. Like, Spurs had the better chances. Obviously, again, it's going to be very clear they're going to have the better chances when they're obviously defending a bit more. We're coming out a little bit more because we need to obviously score a goal. There's going to be a bit more space in behind for Arsenal, again, and for Spurs to obviously attack. But I still think, again, in terms of one of their biggest weakness, still is in transition, even though Son and these guys are getting a bit older, they still look a bit more threatening in that kind of transitional from back to front. Whereas our transitional threat is still non-existent, man. I feel like, again, trying to get these dribblers in is kind of going to improve us in terms of making the most of transition, because they're kind of the periods of time in the game, especially when you're against a defending team, where you can actually break that kind of low block, especially if, for example, Spurs at the corner, we kind of calm and collect it. That's a transitional break there. Throw it quickly. You've got dribblers and players that can obviously get past players in space because everyone's out of position. We've just gone up for the corner, sorry. So, yeah, I think those kind of situations you have to make the most of. If you don't do that, then you're looking at a team, again, who can not really challenge the goalkeeper in terms of making them make a save, man. So, yeah. Big old Dom in the building says, agreed, low block is a concern overall, and the two are linked in intensity and verity by using the left. By using the left are both issues. My point was more that I'll be a bit more worried about the low block in the season rather than pre. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I get what you're saying, bro. I get what you're saying. And it's one of those things where you're looking at preseason, you're thinking, and I think that a lot of Arsenal fans were doing that. Is there kind of any elements that we've seen that can actually improve our team? And at the minute, bro, it's kind of the same old. And I don't think that's good enough in terms of the position we're in, where we're chasing Liverpool, potentially chasing Manchester City, Chelsea, obviously improving as well. We need to see some improvements from our team. Otherwise, we could fall further down than we were last season in terms of league position, points behind, etc. Again, we've not seen Gyökeres yet, so obviously, hopefully, he makes an impact in the team. But for me, that's not enough. That left-hand side has to be sorted. City and Arsenal both play boring football. Again, the possession kind of slow, methodical football is definitely a range for concern if you can't score the goals, bro. Yo, it's my birthday. Yeah, I think you already said that, bro. But yeah, happy birthday again. Kurt, but how was it? Reece Nelson, the only dribbling left winger I've seen during preseason. He's been our best left winger, bro. And he's the one we're trying to sell. I'll be real. He's been the 2 games, or the 2 cameos. He's come on. He's looked threatening, direct. He's won 3 kicks. He's gone into the opposition box. He's had shots, and he's not even played that many minutes. Like, he's only come on for 10, 15 minutes each time. But he looks threatening. That's crazy, considering. And this is my issue with Martinelli. He's like, again, you're isolated, but it's up to you to try and provide something. Reece Nelson's isolated as well, but he can still provide a little bit of something, a bit of quality, a bit of dribbling ability, something like that to get past your defender, a bit of dynamism in terms of going one way or the other. Do you know what I'm saying? So, ultimately, it's not an excuse, man, for sure. It's not an excuse, man. Tops, I've never accepted the defeat to Spurs, competitive games and friendlies. I hate it. Listen, I don't think we should be playing them at all, if I'm being honest, bro. Like, even Premier League teams, I don't like it. This is the new thing that's come in the last 5 or 6 years in terms of preseason. Obviously, we know it's money orientated. It's the fact they want to get these kind of foreign fans who, again, fair enough, they support the team. That obviously they don't get a chance to see the team on a regular basis or see them play competitive games in the league and stuff like that. They're trying to bring that over into those kind of areas where this is kind of the equivalent of a Premier League game, Arsenal versus Spurs or Arsenal versus Liverpool, or whatever. So from that perspective, I get that. But at the same time, I just don't think it benefits a lot of people. It gives obviously opposition fans a closer look of how you're going to be setting up going into the season. And in terms of keeping the specialness of these kind of fixtures, you want to keep them for league and competitive games only, man. You don't want to be playing Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs in the friendlies, bro, when you don't need to. It's crazy. For me, you should just be playing foreign teams. There's enough of them about. So yeah, I think it would benefit it more often. Kenny Ken said Arteta could ruin Max Diamond. Listen, I feel like, again, with these kind of attacking players, man, we have seen a difference in terms of how Martinelli plays, how Saka plays, in terms of the lack of fluidness, the lack of there's a bit of restraint on some of these players. Again, he is asking them to do a lot of things defensively, going tracking back. To be fair to Martinelli, he was tracking back a lot. Sorry, in that Spurs game, he was trying to help out Lewis Skelly with Kudu, so he was doing these defensive duty a lot. But again, I feel like you do stifle them a little bit. Where you heard what Salah said, man. Salah said, Slot made him not defend a lot this season and just concentrate on obviously going forward and scoring goals. And there's a reason why he nearly got 30 league goals. So yeah, I think that's another thing that has to change in terms of you have to take a little bit more risk. I know obviously you want to defend and you don't want to concede goals, but you have to be willing to lose to win the game. And I think at the minute we're just so scared of losing. This is why we're drawing all these games, because there's not that final push of, you know what, we're just going to go for it. We might lose. We might get done on the counter. We might lose 2-1, but at least we're trying to win the game. We need 3 points. I think we need to try and have a bit more risk and reward in terms of play. It's very safe. I think kind of translates into the team. Big up Shane in the building, man. Big up yourself, brother. I hope you are well. Make sure you guys go over and subscribe to Shane. Do good things on his channel. So clear to see the difference Frank has made to Spurs already. Arteta look clueless with the same mundane tactics. Frank is an actual proper coach and manager. Listen, Frank came in and obviously he's asserted his authority in terms of defensively, making them very, very more solid. And they were very disciplined, man. And again, new manager, you want to obviously try your best for your new manager. And they've come in and again, during that actual performances, they played very well defensively and created the best chances in the game. In terms of Arteta, I agree that not just about the players, him as a tactician, he needs to change some things around. Like I said, that kind of heavy reliance on the right hand side, changing things dynamically in terms of obviously on the left hand side. Yes, you might need a better quality of player, but also what are we doing in the center? Where are the different tactics? Where are the different combinations? I was very disappointed that we've not seen Zubimendi and Rice in like a double pivot, similar to what we've seen with Rice on Jorginho. Sorry, because you could argue that was probably our best period under Arteta, and when we were winning 6-0, 5-0, 6-0, it was them two in the pivot, and they were obviously complementing each other. Rice was doing the things off the ball, Jorginho was doing the things on the ball. I thought we would get something similar with Zubimendi and Rice. We've not really seen it yet, so yeah, that's something we have to see. And then in terms of Odegaard's role, kind of the same thing, really. For me, I think Odegaard's an 8. I just, in that 10, I just don't see, he does everything in terms of first phase and second phase, like build up in terms of getting the ball, progressing it into a certain period, and then it just flatlines. There's no kind of acute, because obviously the last probably acute kind of number 10 creative player we had was Mesut Ozil, and even though Mesut Ozil definitely has his flaws in terms of physically, in terms of that final ball and being able to, the weight of the pass and the timing of it, he was to a T. He would do it time and time again. Obviously, at the time, we didn't have any proper clinical strikers. But yeah, I think Odegaard doesn't really have that, man. He doesn't really have that kind of cuteness of a final ball in that final area. So I don't know whether you need to be using him in a different way, in a different light, make him have a different kind of role. So yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, I think in terms of the tactics, they definitely need to be improved on for sure, bro. 100%, I agree. I think we need to see it. It's funny because again, Arteta has gone into certain seasons and completely changed how we played. We've seen it in the 2022-2023 season, 2023-2024 season. There were completely different styles that we played, man. And I know obviously it was dictated with the personnel we got in, because we got Jesus in one year, then we got in obviously Rice and Havertz in the next year. But at the same time, it's like, again, we actually need you to kind of do that this season, because the last season was very stale, regardless of injuries and referees and stuff like that. This is how we were playing and how we were breaking down teams. And it was very stale. So it does need a revamp, man, in terms of personnel and stuff like that. Hopefully we get that with Gyökeres. Hopefully, again, a different style of striker. We need to see him start, though. So hopefully he does that in the next game. But yeah, hopefully we get that with that kind of striker, and a couple of new players can unleash and unlock a different style of play. But big up yourself for the comment, bro. Good to see you in the building. Big up Static says, hi, legend. Facts with a fire emoji. Come on, bro. Big up RS says, biggest thing I took from the Spurs game was Arsenal's lack of creativity. It generally seems like no longer Arteta is in the job, the more robotic and predictable Arsenal become. Yeah, again, this is the kind of an issue I definitely have. From last season, man, even without the injuries, even without the kind of refereeing decisions, I was very concerned about how we were playing at home. We were not creating a lot of chances, even though we were winning some games, we weren't really creating a lot. Big up Kurt says, big up Shane Christian trying to say he was right about Gyökeres. I'm back with a laughing emoji. I said, yes, Lucky Sing. 18 likes. Come on, people. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video. City needs to sign that Haaland. This Haaland is washed. With a laughing emoji. It was going to watch when Darwin came on. We relied on we rely on our academy again to get us over the line. So what have we built? What is the identity? Soon going to resort to long throws again. And listen, when Darwin came on, they were doubling up on him, similar to the Saka thing, to be fair. Because again, they kind of respect. That's crazy. Who would have thought a 15-year-old is getting doubled up on this? That's how good the guy is, man. So yeah, again, we had no kind of answer to that. He was trying his best, obviously, but yeah, there was kind of no other spark. I feel like him, Ethan are kind of the last mavericks of the team in terms of they just try stuff, they do stuff. You don't really know what they're gonna do. That's kind of the excitement you have as a fan, and I think that's what we lack in our team. That kind of, like someone said before, Havertz, Martinelli, and Odegaard. You know what they're going to do every single game. There's nothing special they do. You're never wowed by what they bring to the pitch in respects of they've done something that you weren't expecting. Whereas I feel like you do need those kind of players in the team, as well as your kind of reliable, trusted players that keep it simple. I get that, but I think you need a mixture of both. Otherwise, you do lack creativity. Bill Kurt says, Sky Sports, Man United are interested in PSG. Donnarumma, like Man United can afford him. Hey, to be fair, you say that, Kurt. It looks like they're going to try and get Sesko, and I thought they'd definitely have to sell someone before they get him. So, hey, you never know, man. You never know. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes at Old Trafford. Lewis with a laughing emoji. City better sign him with a laughing emoji. Can that Powell and Haaland play right back? That's funny, man. Davy, big up yourself, man. It says, morning. We all like to win, but preseason is all about fitness, team building, tactics, because everything is scrutinized. Fans get worked up, lose now or lose in the league. Yeah, and listen, for me, like I said, I know people obviously Static have said they don't like losing to Spurs, and I get that, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I'm not really concerned about the result personally. That's just me personally. I know people think it's different because again, it's Spurs and stuff like that. I more care about the tactics. If we would have lost even like 2-0, for example, but we were opening them up, carving them up, I'll be like, you know what? At least I've seen us try and break down low blocks. At least I know it's just about the finishing now. My main concern is that our tactics were worse, that we weren't even creating any chances, man. So I think that's more of a concern than the actual result. Like, again, the result came from potentially a foul. Maybe people say it was a foul. I think potentially it was a foul, to be fair. But again, Raya was silly to play that pass in that position for Lewis Skelly. We had 3 players on him when he could literally have just passed it to, I think, Saliba and Kivior, who were just like either side of him. And they had no one on him. So it was just unnecessary. He didn't have to do that. That was his decision-making that kind of encourage that kind of sequence of events. So but yeah, in terms of like a result, I agree, bro. I think it is about team building, fitness, trying to get no injuries, but more importantly, the tactics is the main thing you said there. And I think tactically we're still kind of the same, if I'm being honest, which is a bit of a worry considering we've only really got 2 preseason games left until we got Man United away. And the thing is, we got a tough start. So, and that's kind of what I think a lot of Arsenal fans are worried about. We've got a tough start, and we need not wholesale changes, but we need a radical turnaround in terms of how we're playing in personnel for us not to have the same kind of problems last season. Because again, we're already seeing it now. Even with a few new players, it's kind of the same things systematically the same. So yeah, very, very tough issue, man. Big up RS, said your number 10 should unlock low blocks. But sadly for you have Odegaard, I expect verts across the low blocks. Yeah, man. I think Odegaard's an 8, bro. I'll be honest, man. I think we're playing him out of position, which again, I think we're playing a few players out of position right now. I don't think Declan Rice is the 8 that we're playing him in. I think he's more of a box-to-box or a pivot 6. Someone that needs to combine with someone else. Because he has got good attributes, but again, ball playing in terms of passing is not one of them. So, yeah, man, I think we definitely misprofiling him. And, yeah, a few other players as well, bro. A few other players as well. Big up Jake says, all our tops. Obviously, I'm not Spanish, so I can't read that, but big up yourself. Big up Stike, it says, you also want to win preseason games to build confidence to the next game. Oh, yeah, true. That's true. That is very true. Obviously, again, if you've got an option to win or not win, obviously, everyone's going to pick to win them. But I think, again, even if you don't win them, I don't think it automatically dictates what you're going to do in the league. Like I think Chris said, Liverpool literally lost every single game in 2019, and they went on to win the league at Cantor. They didn't lose a game to like March or something like that. They won like it was something crazy like 25 games. They won 24, drawn 1 or something. So yeah, so again, it doesn't always dictate your thing. Obviously, it's starting to get a bit of momentum, but yeah, I feel like more it's about the tactics and stuff like that and implementing new things. Likes of diamond for you is what you need. Manager, we need time not to be rushed. Tops is actually longer. It's been like this since 2000s. I've never been a fan of facing teams from the same league during preseason. I disagree. A lot of Prem teams are sponsored by Japanese and Chinese companies. It's only right for the top teams to go over there and play football. I see no issue playing. Nah, I don't like it, man. Personally, I don't like it, bro. I just don't think it's necessary, man. I feel like there was no problem with playing other, because you can play other big teams. I remember we used to play Barcelona, Real Madrid. We used to play all the other top teams in Europe, man. And it was still the same kind of anticipation for both sets of obviously fans, where it's fans watching here, because again, you're seeing a big obviously team you're playing against, or fans there because you're still seeing a Champions League level caliber team. I don't like playing Prem teams at all, bro. I just don't see the necessary need for it. I just we had it before where we weren't playing them, and no one was complaining saying we need to play Spurs in the preseason. So yeah, I just think it's unnecessary personally. And if it was a thing where next season they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go and play some kind of teams in Germany or Spain or France, I'll be absolutely fine with it if I'm being honest. Because yeah, I don't know, man. I just think for me, you just have to save that for the actual competitions for sure. Because again, you're not going to see. I mean, again, maybe you would do now because of the money wise, but I doubt you're going to see Barcelona versus Real Madrid, for example, in a preseason friendly. I'd be very shocked if that happens, man. On a regular basis, anyway. So yeah, man, I think certain games you just got to keep for the league. Liverpool's brand new 10-year kit deal. Sorry. And that's officially begins today, the 1st of August, worth way over the reported 600 million. Oh, fair enough. Big up David V. So PSR flip is to protect clubs from administration. Tell that to the Morecambe supporters. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy how it works out. To be fair, it's crazy how it works out. Bit of Static says there's nothing wrong with facing other teams from other leagues from around the world as well, but that should be Arsenal's main focus, like playing PSG, Bayern, for example, nothing else. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I think again, we've had tours before where we faced Bayern Munich and stuff like that, Atletico Madrid, and they were cool, man. They were cool. It's only been the last like 4 or 5 years where we've started to incorporate this kind of playing Tottenham and Chelsea and stuff like that. Man United, we played for a couple of seasons as well, man. So yeah, I don't like it. If Arsenal want to really test themselves, play against bigger teams around Europe, especially if they want to have any success in the Champions League. Yeah, true, very true. Definitely to improve on that. Big up Tops. It says the Tops are going to go back to work. Keep up the good work, legend. Big up yourself, brother. Appreciate you being in the building, man. And good for you to stop by and obviously integrate with the chat, man. Really appreciate it. United will be borrowing more. They don't care about debt. Yeah, for sure. I feel like they will be as well. RS, man. Big up Anthony says 18 people watching. Keep pushing. It's definitely going to be 18K soon. Big ups. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the kind words and the support in the chat, man. Always appreciate you popping in, my brother. So yeah, make sure you guys keep liking the video and subscribe. And yeah, we are moving quick with the subscribers, man. I really appreciate everyone that's locked in, tuned in, all of that good stuff. 20 likes, like and subscribe. Come on, starting, man. I always appreciate it, man. Just kidding. Hi, Tops. Big up yourself, Jake. RS, he says MLS isn't a left back. His understanding of the position just isn't there. Good player, but he's going to be found out in that position this year, in my opinion. Listen, man, I again, Arsenal, man. The fact we need to do this much work is crazy when I think about it. But yeah, there is an argument that we need a left back. We need another left back. It's comical, really, when you think about it, considering every year we bought a left back. But Calafiori doesn't look like he's a proper left back, and he can be injury prone, as we've seen. And Miles Lewis-Skelly, again, I feel like, you know what it is? I think because he's still developing as a player, and we've not actually tied down his actual position. Again, he's naturally midfielder. We're playing him left back. He's going to still have teething problems in terms of a player because he's obviously still developing. And also on top of that, in the position. So, again, he's going to get caught out. He's going to have games where he has bad games. He's still only 18 as well. So, yeah, do you want to have that in a season where you're trying to win the league? I don't know, man. Maybe you need someone that's a bit more competent in terms of actually playing at left back. Someone that has a bit more experience as a left back. Because, again, he's only played one season. Well, not even a full season. He played half a season there. We started, in January, really? December, January, where he started to really play left back on a regular basis. So, yeah, 6 months is not a long time, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it does not surprise me if potentially we come under problems with that, man. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, what happens with that. But yeah, on to other news now. Obviously, we're talking about Manchester United, and we are talking about potentially them getting Benjamin Sesko. So yeah, Manchester United launch an all-out transfer offer for Benjamin Sesko in a bid to beat Newcastle as Star's preferred club is revealed. United director has close links to Sesko, apparently. He goes on to say, Benjamin Sesko, Manchester United have launched an all-out bid to land striker Benjamin Sesko. Sesko and Ollie Watkins have formed the club's two-man shortlist as Man United sought to give Ruben Amorim the firepower he craves. Obviously, they've already got Mbeumo and Cunha in those kind of those 2-10 roles. Obviously, they both can play up front if needs be as well. But with Villa insisting that no deal for their England frontman will be considered, United have switched their sights and now pursuing aiming to blow Newcastle out of the water to land 70 million plus for Sesko. So that it was a report by, I think, David Ornstein saying that potentially they want 75 million euros guaranteed plus add-ons, which would amount to maybe 90 million euros, which is about 75, 77, 78 kind of million pounds, something like that. So yeah, that would definitely be a lot of money, probably more than they anticipated spending on a striker, if I'm being honest. I think, again, their kind of first choice was a Liam Delap, which would have been 30 million. Then you're looking at Gyökeres, who obviously went to Arsenal, which would have been 55 mil. Then even Ollie Watkins would have been 60 mil. So Sesko is probably the most expensive out of all of the options they've gone for. But again, the striker market is very, very bleak in terms of there's not a plethora of opportunities. There is Mateta there, but again, maybe they don't see him as a long-term solution. But I think, how much would Mateta cost? How much do you guys think Mateta would cost? What, 40 million? I know Atlanta bidded 30 million euros, I think it was. So maybe for 40 million pounds, 45 million pounds. I think maybe value for money in terms of what you need right now. Someone that can slot into the team, be aggressive, score goals, link up play as well. I think potentially that might be a better get if I'm being honest. But again, who knows, man? Sesko could come in and smash it. Who knows? Again, I'm not disclaiming him. Again, things can definitely change for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one for sure. It says, obviously, the head of recruitment, Christopher Vivell, was the Red Bull Group, was with the Red Bull Group that owns Leipzig and Sesko's previous club, Salzburg, for 7 years and knows the 6'5" striker very well. So they've already got inside connections, man. Sesko is among the game's top young talents and has enormous potential to become a top player. He has all the qualities to do that. So again, a lot of money on potentially. Potentially, that is kind of a tongue twister. But yeah, again, the only thing I'll say is that, again, the United fans are a bit hesitant because they've gone down this route with obviously Rasmus Højlund. Obviously, he's turned out not to be the finished article at all. Not to say that I think that Sesko is better than Højlund, to be fair. But again, it's kind of that waiting if this guy's going to explode rather than having in your mindset as a fan, okay, this guy's expected to score X amount of goals straight away without us waiting for him to develop or grow, which is, again, why I didn't want Arsenal to sign him for that exact reason. But yeah, listen, he could come on and be amazing. Like, again, I'm not seeing a load of him. I'm not saying that he's going to be terrible. I'm not saying he's going to be amazing. I'll be very intrigued to see how he does in the Premier League, especially when it's off with my team, because, again, there's no kind of expectation on him for me personally. So, but yeah, a lot of hype around him, though. A lot of hype around him. So we'll have to see if he obviously fulfills it, if he does come to Man United or Newcastle. But he's looking extremely likely. He said he's extremely quick. He has a great jump on him, and he's technically strong in the air. Benjamin is a real goal scorer. He's very mobile and technically strong. His abilities make him a special player with a special profile. Obviously, the son understands Sesko, who was also on Arsenal's shortlist over the summer would prefer a move to Old Trafford rather than Newcastle. That is despite the fact that Newcastle can offer him Champions League football, while Man United have no European football at all this season. That's very, very, very damning, to be fair. Even though I've seen Man United are a much bigger club than Newcastle, but even so, the fact they've got no European football and potentially Sesko will still go there anyway compared to Newcastle, who are actually in the Champions League, is kind of mad. Eddie Howe is also thought to be growing apprehensive about his prospects of landing Sesko, who has scored 39 goals over 2 seasons in the Bundesliga, and now United are making their move. So yeah, United are making their move. Let's have a look. But Leipzig are unlikely to roll over and hand Sesko to United on a plate. They are sticking to their £70 million valuation and dismissed all attempts by Arsenal to bargain them down, leading to the Gunners eventually landing Gyökeres for £63 million instead. Obviously, this is Sesko's stats: 33 games, 19 goals, chances created, 13 goals in 33 games. It's not amazing, is it? Like, again, you see the guy the likes of Mamouche and Ikitike get more goals. 5 assists as well. So 18 GA in 33, 31 shots. And that's not a lot, actually. 31 shots on target in 33 games. That's a shot on target, just about a shot on target every game, which is not a lot. Considering you see strikers. I remember Harry Kane used to have like 5 or 6 shots on target alone in a game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's definitely something maybe he needs to improve on in terms of shots on target. Sesko signed for Salzburg in 2023 and has gone on to play 87 games for them, including the Champions League. Man United have already invested in new attacking players, bringing Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo for a combined £133.5 million. Newcastle are looking for a potential replacement for striker Alexander Isak, who's understood to have told Newcastle hierarchy that he wants to leave this summer. Isak is currently absent from the club's preseason tour, with a Magpie saying that he has a minor thigh injury. Asked about it, Isak links to Premier League champions Liverpool. His teammate Bruno Guimaraes said he's a top striker, and his last record over the last 3 seasons speaks for itself. He's a top player. But as far as I know, he's just stayed here because of injury, and he's having treatment at the club. Obviously, the Sun exclusively revealed Isak has been offered £32 million a year deal from Saudi Arabia, but his heart is set on Liverpool. But yeah, it looks like they're going to be trying to bid a record-breaking £120 million for Isak in the coming weeks. But yeah, one of those ones, man. One of those ones. Pick up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. What's going on? Hi, Tops. Good to see you again. Big up yourself, Jake. David says, Tops, when season starts, are you going to be doing some evening streams? A lot of people will miss the early. Yeah, 100%, bro. Obviously, I'll be doing some streams after the games and stuff like that. I'll be doing some watch-alongs for the games, which obviously are more in the evening. So yeah, it's only because it's preseason, bro. And obviously, again, there's not really much games in the evening so far. But yeah, definitely, bro. I'm on a holiday for a few days, so I can see the early ones. Yeah, for sure, bro. I'll definitely be in the evening as well. And also, you can always watch it and play it back for sure as well, bro. But big up yourself for being in the chat. And yeah, man, definitely be doing some evening streams as soon as the season starts, my bro. Big up Chanzo, bro. Big up Tyrell Gunner TV, man. Big up yourself, man. Do some good work on his channel as well. Definitely have to chat to you in the season too. So yeah. So big up yourself. Luis Garcia, Cunha, Sesko, and Mbeumo. Title race is over. United is the team to beat with a laughing emoji. Not taking them seriously. Big up RS. He says that Liverpool will sell one of the of Robert and Simicast. We can tell we can do you a good deal. LOL, that's crazy. You know what? I might have to take you off on the offer, bro, because it's looking highly unlikely we need a left back, you know. I'm just kind of deep in it. Because if Lewis Kelly gets injured, I'm thinking, who the hell are we playing left back? Because Calafiori's injured in a minute. So you're looking at potentially playing. I mean, I say Timber, but he's injured. So, that left back position is a mess, you know. A bit of an exclusive from Sam C says Newcastle are progressing in talks with Livramento over a contract extension. Sources have confirmed. Probably the first bit of good news Newcastle have had, probably all window. I know they bought Alanga, but obviously excluding him, them actually getting down because again, Livramento was linked heavily with Manchester City. I think Newcastle wanted 80 million or something like that. So yeah, he's a very good player. Him and Lewis Hall are very good fullbacks. So that is some good news as well. Crazy. Tottenham excited about the obviously Palhinha deal. Definitely get onto that soon. Deal now considered in advance as per others. I think that's basically nearly done. I think But yeah, some decent news for Newcastle. Like I said, Sesko, same level as Højlund. Sesko is basically German Collins that no one wants. He ends up with that is crazy. Big on Chris, man, that is crazy. 20 mil pounds for Robbo. Yeah, that's nasty. Seen Spare Lewis and also love buying rivals as well. And well, I hear it. We actually do love buying to rivals still. That's a 35 for the package deal, you know. Newcastle will only have the Champions League this year. No way they qualify for it next year, especially. Yeah, it's looking highly unlikely, bro. The only way they may be able to do it, I mean, it's highly unlikely, man. I can't lie. Because again, them balancing both, I feel like they're going to suffer in one or the other. Either going to exit the Champions League very early in the group stages because they're trying to get back into the Champions League in the league, which is kind of a oxymoron, really. Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Or they concentrate on the Champions League, try and get as further as that as possible, but then their league form drops. The only kind of saving grace they might have is that potentially it might be 5 teams again, depending on obviously coefficient and how the teams do this season, the English Premier League team. So maybe that might be kind of a saving grace for him or for them. Sorry, Newcastle I'm talking about, and potentially they might get in that way. But yeah, it's looking harder. It's looking harder and harder each season, bro. In terms of obviously the players and the teams strengthening, drawing the top of the table, and also having to manage multiple competitions in one season as well. I think teams need. I think it should be a thing where they kind of extend the kind of number. I know it's 25 at the minute for non-homegrown. I think you're probably looking at 25, 26, 27, 28 for especially European teams, man. Because again, playing the same 25 man all season for 60 games, bro. I feel like again, potentially it's causing injury as well as a World Cup at the end of the season too. So a lot of players are going to be very cautious in terms of how much they play because they want to play in a World Cup. For their obviously national team as well, I think so. Yeah, could be very interesting. Big up Chris says I think Gay and Isak get done once they have once they bring someone in. Yeah, very true. Could be similar with Eze as well. I know they're linked with that guy from Leicester. I can't remember his name, man. He's kind of a number 10 as well. So potentially that could be a thing we have to look out for too. Big up RS says LOL like Bruno's going to come out and say, oh yeah, he's off. He's going to outgrid the club. He deserves to be paid more than £120. Oh, sorry, 120k. LOL. Yeah, and listen. I feel like, again, people just kind of ask these things, hoping they might get an exclusive, but 9 times out of 10, it's kind of the standard kind of talk, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Big up Chris, he says, why is no one signing Robertson from Fulham? Best left back in the league, in my opinion. Very good recovery, very good defensive displays, and can go forward. He has been linked with Saudi, you know. I think that's potentially why, Chris, Fulham have been linked with Zinchenko, potentially to replace Tom Robertson. I don't know why no one signed him. I thought there was a period of time where I think Liverpool were going to get him. Obviously, you've gone for Kirkes. But yeah, I think it's a good left back as well, to be fair. Maybe the other thing he probably lacks is maybe the physicality in terms of like aerial duels and stuff like that. But I don't know if people even look for that, if I'm being honest, for a fullback. So yeah, potentially could be a thing, man. Big up Chris said Livramento was was way too far overpriced. City would not pay that. Yeah, I think they kind of, basically, I think that what Newcastle do is they overprice their kind of key players to try and shoo away these kind of teams that are looking at them. So they did something similar. Obviously, they tried to do something similar with Isak, but Liverpool are saying, yeah, we'll pay it. So it's kind of not really worked there. Obviously, they've done it with Gordon before, saying, yeah, he's 80 million. So it kind of gets people, well, we're not going to go in for Gordon then. And I think they're doing it with Livramento as well to try and fend off these kind of teams that are after them. So yeah, big old shout out. Long time no see, bro. I ain't seen you since, I don't know what, February, March or something like that. Big up yourself, bro. Good to see you back in the chat. Says, yo, sorry, I haven't been tuning in. I had to get a new account as my phone broke and I couldn't transfer anything to my new phone. 100%. No worries, bro. Good to see you in the chat, man. Good to see you well. Hopefully you got a new phone now. It's working, bro. Well, yeah, good to see you in the building. You're a West Ham fan, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I'm sure you're a West Ham fan. But yeah, let me know. Big up AFC always. Arteta needs to learn a new football system quick. Has been forcing his inverted fullbacks, touchline wingers, and box crashing eights gimmick for far too long, and it's clearly run its course. 100% agree, man. This is why the greats like Pep Guardiola and all these kind of guys always innovate their kind of style of play. You've seen Pep do the inverted kind of fullback thing. Then he switched to having 4 kind of centre backs in those kind of defensive areas. Now he probably is going to do something else that's a little bit different. I think you definitely always have to reinvent yourself. I think in life in general, I don't think you can get too comfortable, too complacent, even if you're being successful. I think there's always going to be ways where you kind of creating new ideas, creating new things, creating new vibes, just so you kind of stay ahead. Because again, people will see what you're doing, kind of catch up, maybe copy it, etc., etc. So I think there has to be an element of you actually finding new ways where, again, you're thinking about, okay, maybe we can go in this direction now and to kind of change things up so it's a bit more unpredictable. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree. I think in terms of football systems, tactically, and this is what I think a lot of fans were kind of hoping, or signing different profile of players. Like signing an Eze is someone that we've not really got on our squad in terms of an elite dribbler who can obviously score from long range. You could argue maybe Trossard's kind of similar, but again, different level in my opinion. I think Trossard is on the way down. Eze's still obviously in his prime. And then Gyökeres is completely different. We've got no one that makes those kind of in-channel runs. That's obviously strong on the ball. That he's as good of a finisher than he is when he gets an opportunity. So, yeah, I think he's a completely different kind of style of player at all. So, yeah, I think that combination of getting different styles of players as well as a system change in terms of how we tactically build up from the back and how we kind of penetrate the kind of opposition and how quick we are in transition is going to be crucial to us even being successful. If it's kind of the same thing, then I think we're going to be having the same kind of problems, my bro. Well, big up yourself. But yeah, AFC always says, doesn't matter who we sign, Arteta is the problem. Says always. Big up Shadow says true. I mean, I can't chat. I'm a West fan. I'm a West Ham fan. Yeah, that's the guy, man. You mean from that? Yeah, that's him, bro. That's him. I can't really pronounce it, but yeah, that's him. But big up yourself and let me know, man. But yeah, hopefully, he can obviously go to Crystal Palace and potentially we could be on our way to signing Eze. But yeah, quickly before I obviously head off, let me just talk about the Spurs news. According to Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham have agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich star Palhinha amid interest from Manchester United. Apparently, Arsenal had interest earlier on in the season, but opted to go for Nordgaard because it's a bit cheaper. And this summer window transfer has been frustrating for Spurs as they've missed out on Gibbs White, who has penciled a new contract for Nottingham Forest. Still enough on London Alfie have spent 120 million on signings after they've landed Kudus, Mattis Tel, and Danso, who have permanently joined the club after season-long loans last season. They've turned their attention to signing former Fulham star Palhinha, who is reportedly featured on the midfield list for Manchester United. Last summer, the 30-year-old left Fulham to join Bayern Munich for a potential fee overall for £47 million. Damn, I didn't realize that much, but he's set to return to the Premier League after only making 25 Bundesliga appearances for the champions in the last season. It says Spurs moved to the front of the queue for Palhinha's signature. They are very advanced over a loan signing for Palhinha. It would be a straight loan as it stands without an option to buy or obligation to buy. I think potentially, I don't know if it was Ornstein, someone else came out and said that potentially there is kind of an option now to buy him, which again, is an interesting one, man, because I did rate him highly at Fulham. I definitely thought he was definitely one of the best sixes in the league at the time. Was at Fulham, but I don't know whether it's going to be the same kind of if it's going to be the same kind of standard of player. This was David Ornstein, what he put. It says Joao Palhinha undergoing a medical in Germany today ahead of joining Tottenham from Bayern Munich. Deal for the 30-year-old midfielder, season-long loan plus option to buy next summer for 30 million euros. Okay, not too bad. That's probably what, 22 million pounds. Tottenham to cover the full wages of the Portugal international again. But yeah, I think potentially this could be a very good signing if he's at the level he was at Fulham. I think they definitely need probably a solid kind of DM option, someone that can win the ball back, very good in duels and stuff like that. I think in Bissouma and Sarr, that they kind of want to do both. They like Bissouma wants to get forward. Sarr, obviously you've seen yesterday with the goal he scored, he tends to want to get forward. I think Palhinha is more kind of be a guy that's gonna sit, protect the back four, and allow maybe the more creative players like a James Maddison, for example, or Kudus, who's further up the pitch to try and do their magic, and do their thing. So overall, I think it's a good signing, to be fair. I think it is a good signing. I'm upset that Kudus joined Spurs. Yeah, I hear it, man. I hear it, bro. I hear it. Big old Carlos says, where do you think West Ham will finish, Shadow, next season? A very good question, actually. Who have you actually signed as well? Because, again, I'm not too sure about West Ham's business as well, man. Big up Johnny Boy. It says balance in our with a great signing for Spurs and Palhinha. I reckon Spurs just need another centre back and maybe I think they need another striker, whether it's a second striker or another forward or something like that. And yeah, I think they do need another centre back. I think Romero, Van der Ven, Danso, and another guy. I know they've got Ben Davis who can potentially play left centre back, but I think potentially another one. Remember, they are in the Champions League. I think people forget. But yeah, I said, yeah, man. Hopefully top 10 with Somerville back. Yeah, did miss a lot of the season. And again, Graham Potter has got another, obviously, pre-season under his belt. So a lot of pressure on him to perform, to be fair, Graham Potter. He's been touted a lot. He's been bigged up a lot. Obviously, got the Chelsea job based off his work at Brighton and obviously Udinese, is it? Osterson, sorry, as well. Was it Sweden? I think it was, or Iceland. I can't remember where they were. But yeah, his record at West Ham was very poor, bro. Very, very poor, very poor. So yeah, just heard Tops criticize Rice's. Listen, I have never gassed up Rice's passing. That's one of the things I don't gas up in terms of his passing. Like he can pass, but he's not. That's not his strength for sure. Like in terms of the first thing on the ball, he wants to pass. He wants to dribble. He wants to get past players. He wants to use his strength. Obviously, he's a very good ball striker. Definitely, long range shots. Probably the best out of our club. He is the best out of our club. You've seen the Real Madrid free kicks, and obviously all the other goals he scored for us. But there's a passer in there. We definitely need a different profile in that kind of left 8. I feel like again in that pivot, that box to box kind of role where he can come back, defend, anticipate play, stuff like that. And then obviously go forward and obviously contribute to the scoring goals. He's very good in the air as well, Declan Rice, because he has got a few headers for us as well. I think that's probably the best way to operate him, man. Trying to get him to do this kind of Cesc Fabregas, David Silva 8 role where he's kind of, nah, man, that's not the kind of player he is. I'll be real. One, I know it's Kyle Walker-Peters. Yeah, you did get him. I did actually see that, to be fair. See Enzo Fernandez. I won't listen, man. Allow me, I beg. It's great to see my second club, Spurs, operating well in the market. Yeah, you're shameless, man. West Ham, great club, fans. It's a stadium. It's certain it affects your team. Plus Frank can play free at the back too, which is why I say, yeah, very, very true. He did play that for Brentford as well. That's very, very true. I said, cheers for the clip. I'll send it to Gio. You're an idiot, bro. I swear. You're an idiot. Oh my God. I'll say that to Gio as well. I think I've said that to Gio before. In terms of Rice's strengths, man. I think that's pretty obvious. And whatnot. But yeah. This guy, man. But yeah, big up everyone in the building. Massive Upton Park. It's flats now. That's nasty, bro. That's nasty work. What do you guys think of obviously the new stadiums as well? Obviously, Everton have got their new stadium coming in as well on the start of the season, so that should be interesting. No, obviously, like you said, West Ham have had their Olympic stadium for a while now. So yeah, I feel like potentially these kind of older kind of teams that had that kind of massive atmosphere in these kind of smaller stadiums may lose a bit of kind of impact, intensity, atmosphere, intimidation factor they have at these kind of small grounds. Whatever you want to say about Goodison, it was always a hard ground to go to. Whether you won there or not, you're definitely always going to have a struggle. I don't think any team, I don't think any team used to go up there and win on a regular basis. Maybe Man City, maybe. But I'm thinking of Arsenal, we struggle there. Liverpool, they've only won, one game and 8 there, 9 there. I know, obviously, Chelsea have dropped points there recently as well, even though they've won there as well. So, yeah, man, it was always, I feel like you don't really get that. Especially like with West Ham as well. Like I feel like West Ham definitely lost their kind of spark when they went to the Olympic Stadium too, man. So big up Davy, sorry. Says Everton's looks good, should generate a great atmosphere. Steep sides. So yeah, man. I think potentially I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't know. Let me have a look at their fixtures, man. I don't know what their first big game's gonna be, man. I don't know if they've got hard games to start off with or not. I can't remember, if I'm being honest, man. But yeah, let me have a quick look about the fixtures, bro. But yeah, I think potentially the first couple of games there could potentially be a good kind of bedding in period, especially if they've got games where they're expected to win as well. So their first game, okay, they're on the Monday night game. So the first game is Leeds away. See, that's a good. See what I'm saying about having Leeds in the bro? It just elevates the games, bro. Imagine if this is Southampton versus Everton. I wouldn't care about it. But when it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's old school Barclays. Maybe it's just the name. I don't know, man. But Leeds versus Everton sounds like a good game. That's the Monday night game. And then their first home game is Brighton at home. So that's their first home game in their new stadium. That's the game. That's the week after 2:00 kickoff. So I don't know if that should be on Sky then, I assume, or should be on television, I assume. Then they got Wolves away, and then Aston Villa at home. Then they got Liverpool away in September. It's 20th of September. So that's pretty quick. West Ham at home. I'm trying to think what their first kind of big 6 game is in October against Tottenham. Or before that, they've got Crystal Palace. Sorry, they've got West Ham. So they've got some winnable fixtures, if I'm being honest. So yeah, their fixture list is not too bad. Not too bad at all. But yeah, man. SJP is still the best atmosphere. Says Davy T. Everton is now the best in Merseyside. Big up Johnny Boy. The formation we play doesn't suit our style, but Arteta is too stupid to change it. Listen, I think again it needs massive changes for sure, bro. I'm not even gonna sit here and argue with you, bro. I've said it on the stream already, my guy. But yeah, man, I agree. I think we definitely need to make some massive changes in terms of stylistically and how we're going forward. Otherwise, yeah, we are going to be seeing kind of the same kind of problems we had last season and the season before when it comes to obviously breaking down low blocks and stuff like that. Definitely not ideal at all. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Of course. Here we go. I'm trying to see if anyone else is online. But big up yourself in the building, man. But yeah, in terms of, like I said, in terms of Palhinha and Spurs, I think it's a very good deal. Let me see what Fabrizio Romano said about the deal. I'm sure he gave you a here we go. I'm pretty sure I've seen that last night. But yeah, I think it's a very good deal, man. In terms of it's a season on loan, it's not it's no money. It's an option to buy. So even if he comes in and he's not particularly great, you can just loan him, like give him back. So I think those are kind of good elements to have in this kind of deal, especially because again, certain players, man, you always know when they have a season out of the Prem, they come back, they're just not the same. I can't remember who there's a player that happened to last time. I can't remember who it was, man. They took a spell out of the game, or out of the Prem, sorry, played for another team, came back to the Prem, and they just weren't the same player at all. So yeah, man. So Palhinha to Tottenham. Here we go. Final green light arrived right now from Bayern. Exclusive detail loan deal includes a 30 million euro 30 million euro option buy clause for Spurs, not mandatory. So option to buy. Salary covered by Spurs. And Bayern said yes, and Palhinha will travel for a medical test. So that's him in the shirt. So yeah, that's done. Mikey Moore officially joins Rangers. So I feel like it's Mikey Moore out, Palhinha in. It does not include a buy option. So yeah, I feel like that's just obviously because of playing time is why that's obviously happening. Understand Hayto's medical starts today as a new Chelsea player. Documents going to be completed today. And obviously set to sign the contract till 2032. 27-year deal, you know. Mad. 7-year deal. Obviously, that's versus new number 7. Now Diaz is left. I mean, that's literally what they're waiting for, man. That's literally what they were waiting for. So yeah, man. Juventus are aware of 3 Premier League clubs in direct contact with Douglas Luiz's camp. Nottingham Forest and Everton are both called in the recent days with the player keen on a Premier League return. Everton are preparing a new proposal after Tyler Diblin for Tyler Diblin. I thought he was very good in the Prem, by the way. He's probably Southampton's best player. After an opening £27 million bid rejected, planning to return to the table and try and get a deal done with Southampton. So yeah, that would be a very good deal for Everton. And I've said it before, Everton needs some new players, man. I feel like they've been having the same guys. I've been seeing Decore and these guys, man, for ages. Do you know what I mean? The same man. So, yeah, I definitely feel like they should have been improving their squad. So at least they're kind of spending some money for sure. Big up Races. Good evening. Your world champions here. Wouldn't swap Maresca for Arteta. Mikel Moore is a winger, bro. Oh, is he? Oh, fair. You know what? I've just seen these guys playing so much different positions. Gray was at centre back and he's a midfielder. Bergvall was obviously centre back. Sorry, was a midfielder. He's been playing different positions as well. So I think I just got mad confused, didn't it? Because I bought a mad load of signings, man. And Spurs making good signings and they have a good manager. I can see them competing for the top 6. Listen, like I said, man, seasons are definitely not linear. Again, if you make some changes in terms of the manager style and obviously bringing a couple of players with some new ideas, you definitely can shoot up the table. We've seen it with obviously Liverpool literally finished 3rd and won the league with 1 manager change, no kind of real impact in terms of new kind of player signings, man. So a manager, bro, it's an underrated kind of job in terms of like I feel like people don't really anticipate how much of an impact it can have when having a new voice, say new ideas, new tactics to obviously the same players can obviously and can elevate the players that you've got and push them to a new level, man. So yeah, man, I feel like that's definitely key. But yeah, it's definitely made a good start in preseason. But yeah, we'll have to see what they do. And we got Davy. He says, "Have a good day, everyone. Take care. Enjoy it. Big up yourself, bro. Good to see you in the chat, man. And hopefully you have a good day yourself, my brother. Big up Ray says, I can't take Arsenal seriously until You guys sack Arteta. Faster you sack him, the better. Also can start moving forward. Yeah, listen, I think he's had enough time personally. I think he should have been sacked maybe a couple of seasons ago, if I'm being honest, man. I think he's took us to how far he could get us, man. To be honest with you, and then you just take someone else who's not going to take you over the line. Because it's keeping managers for the sake of it. I just don't understand the problem with it. I don't understand the reason for it, especially when you're not seeing continuous progression season in, season out. I think when you're at a team like Arsenal or one of these top teams, you've got to be winning trophies, man, on a regular basis. Or if you're not, it can't be more than like maybe a 2-year cycle, maybe. And the next thing you can't be going 5 years without winning anything. That's crazy to me personally. Especially with the money you're spending. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think that's fair to say. I think again, if he got sacked, I don't think he can have too many complaints. If the metric was, well, you've been here 5 years, Arteta, fair enough. You've got us to a position where we were 8th, even though again you took us 8th. But again, the team needed rebuilding. To be fair, you've rebuilt it to a certain point up until 2nd, but you've not actually won any kind of major silverware with the teams you've had and the money we've given you. So unfortunately, after 5 years, we're gonna look for someone else to kind of get us over the line. I think that'll be a fair assessment. I don't think you could have too many arguments. You can't really say, well, I didn't have enough time or I didn't have enough money. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that'll be pretty fair. But he says, a manager is number one important for any players. This is why you have different managers, bro. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any managers. If managers weren't important, you would just have players just run out and just do their thing in it. So, yeah, a manager can dictate how well a team does or doesn't do. Do you know what I mean? Exactly why Klopp should have left sooner, the bum. I thought that was coming. The Klopp slander is there. Roman would have sacked Arteta and Klopp years. 100%. 100%, bro. 100%, man. Your owners are too soft. 100%, bro. 100%. They are, man. They are. And the thing is with Wenger, even though again I obviously wanted Wenger out for a period of time, I could understand it because again he'd done so much for the club, and again it was one of those things where you didn't really want to let him go, kind of thing. So I can understand the sentimental thing. With Arteta, I just don't get it because again he's not really done anything. Again, he's won the FA Cup, cool, but it's not like he's won league titles. It's well in there, so you can like, well, can he win a league title? Do you know what I mean? He's not won anything. He's not, like I said, he's not even got to a final, man. So it's crazy. We got Ray says Poch lost one cup final, didn't get top 4, and we got Enzo Maresca. And we finished top 4, won 2 international trophies. See a difference a manager does. That's why elites keep. That's why elite clubs keep sacking. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, you pretty much got the same team. One manager was underachieving. One's come in and obviously achieved very, very well in terms of getting you into the top 4 first season and winning you 2 trophies as well. So, yeah, I can't really even disagree with that, right? To be fair, we got Johnny Boy says never mind winning trophies. You don't even get to finals. LOL. Yeah, it is a massive asterisk against this team in general, bro. This is why I struggle to obviously when I'm rating the team. I do feel like we've got some very good players, but it only goes so far because you're not getting to finals. You're not seeing them perform in finals, win finals, etc., etc. It kind of just stagnates. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. I feel like for me personally, it's one of those ones where you can't really obviously dictate or kind of predict what we're going to do season in, season out because there's no kind of obviously track record of us doing winning major trophies. So you can't even say Arsenal definitely going to win something this year because we don't win anything. So yeah, man, that's just the honest thing about it, man. I'll be real. We need to start winning trophies, man. I've been saying this for like 3 years. As the managers for trophies improvements. Arteta should have gone to Everton, similar to Fabregas, second division in Italy with Coma. Arteta's ego had him thinking, listen, you know what it is? The crazy thing is with Arteta thing as well is that obviously we wanted him before Emery. So I think, again, the decision to try and, I think the decision to obviously appoint him without him managing another team, I still will never get my head around, to be honest with you, especially from a team like Arsenal. But hey ho, it is what it is, man. Hey ho, it is what it is. I said, don't forget Arteta spent a billion pounds. I think it might be €1 billion. To be fair, I don't know if it's a billion. I don't think it's £1 billion, but yeah, he spent a lot of money. He spent more than enough money to win trophies. That's kind of the premise of the situation. Let's be honest, man. We should be winning some things. I must have landed Raymond. The world champions start preseason today. Says Carlos. What do you make of now the Trossard injury against Spurs, meaning we can't move him on yet? More obstacles created by ourselves. Very good question, bro. And yeah, I've not really heard too much about it. Apparently, Arteta said he's seen, or Trossard said to him he felt a twinge in his groin, I think it was. so he just decided to come off. So I don't know if it was precaution or he's actually injured. Yeah, it's not ideal if I'm being honest, but again, I feel like it's not going to be like a season-ending injury. You could maybe, I mean, a groin injury, depending on how the severity of it, could be like 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, could be 5 weeks, 6 weeks. It just depends on it. So I reckon even if it is like a month, I think you could still secure him and move away because again, he'll still be available for the majority of the season. He'll only be like a month out kind of thing, and obviously the window would be still open anyway. But yeah, it's not ideal to be fair because again, he's an injured player now, and potentially you will be looking him to move him on if you're going to get an improvement on the left hand side because it does look like Martinelli's going to be staying long term. So yeah, man, it is one of those ones for sure. But yeah, man, still a billion and can't reach finals. They called me a madman. Euro or pounds or USD. Carlos, great to see the boys are back. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we should be winning trophies, man. Forget even the finals. We should be winning some stuff, man. With the amount of money and the time again, yeah, Arteta is one of the longest serving managers at a club, which kind of goes to show that he's very fortunate to be in this position still because managers get sacked whether they win things or not, whether they are successful or not. They're always kind of is a cut-off point for the majority of managers in certain jobs, especially the top jobs. And yeah, listen, if Ancelotti can get sacked after winning them, I don't know how many Europa Leagues, how many Champions Leagues and La Liga titles, then yeah, man. And no one is what's the word? No one is clear of the drop. But yeah, man, big up everyone in the building, man. This is going to be another 6 show, of course. I will be back on Monday for another Tops in the Morning show. Obviously, taking the weekend off, so make sure you guys have a good weekend. I'm sure there'll be good content for you guys to watch over there. I'll still be doing my shorts, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But yeah, until Monday, man, don't hate to play the game, and I'll be streaming. I'll be raiding over to my boy Shane, so make sure you go over there, say T-Chanso Sports Raid, Tops Raid, all that good stuff, and I'll be back on Monday, man. Have a good weekend, people, and I'll see you guys later. Don't hate to play the game. Until next time, I'm out, people. Peace.